All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So in this video, I want to talk about a guy who I feel like is probably a future top guy at the Classic Physique Mr. Olympia, and probably a name in Classic Physique that a lot of people should be, getting to know a little bit better, because this guy does have a fantastic Classic Physique. His name is Keone Pearson. Now, Keone just made his Classic Physique Pro debut back in August at the Tampa Pro Show, where he took second at his very first pro show ever. And this is a noteworthy second place finish because the guy that he took second to at that Tampa Pro was Henry Pierre Ano, who just took fourth at the 2018 Classic Physique Mr. Olympia. Now, Keone did not compete at the Classic Physique Mr. Olympia because he was not qualified. And he's currently in the midst of an extended off-season trying to work on some of the weak points of his physique, which I think are actually very few. Now, if you look at this guy's front double bicep, I think he has one of the best front double biceps in the Classic Physique division today, even if you put him next to a guy like Breon. Obviously, the arms are incredible. The biceps in the front double bicep pose are incredible, but it's not just the arms. I mean, the taper that this guy has, the vacuum that he hits during the front double bicep, the size of the legs, the quad sweep, everything in that front double is extremely impressive. Now, I would say the only weak point for Keone at this point would be his chest. I think he needs to bring up the size of his chest a little bit if he really wants to be a very competitive pro. And the other small criticism that I would have is if he wants to come in as a top guy at the Mr. Olympia, he would need to come in a little bit sharper and a little bit more conditioned than he came in at that Tampa Pro, because the Olympia stage, it seems like the judges are really going the route of a really ripped and really conditioned Classic Physique for the Olympia stage. They want these guys to come in shredded. But from a structural standpoint in this Classic Physique division, I feel like Keone really checks all the boxes. I mean, this guy's structure is incredible. If you look at this shot of him hitting a vacuum pose, he looks very reminiscent of Frank Zane hitting that vacuum pose, but with more muscle mass and almost a better structure than Frank Zane had. Certainly with bigger arms and bigger legs than Frank had. But again, I think that conditioning is something he's going to need to bring up. And when he comes in, absolutely shredded, when he hits these classic poses like this, I think he's really going to be jaw-dropping on any Classic Physique stage, especially the Mr. Olympia. Now, with only 35,000 followers on Instagram, I feel like Keone isn't really on a whole lot of people's radars as being a top classic guy. If you look at some of the other guys, like a Chris Bumstead or a Regan Grimes, these guys have 500,000 plus followers on social media. So this guy is still very new to the division and still relatively unknown. But I think we're definitely going to see that change over the course of the next year, as I'm assuming he's going to be attempting to qualify for that 2019 Mr. Olympia after he's done making the changes to his physique that he wants to make in his offseason. So whatever show he picks to do as his qualifier for the Olympia, I think we're going to see something spectacular from this guy. And this is a guy that we need to have on our radar going forward. Now, Keone is a shorter Classic Physique guy, and really people tend to have a preference one way or the other. Some prefer the taller, more imposing physiques like a Wesley Vissers or a Chris Bumstead. But as we saw, Breon Ainsley is also a shorter guy, and he was the guy that ended up taking the title. So the judges obviously like that shorter look. So I think Keone really has a similar physique to Breon Ainsley, but his V-taper might almost even be better than Breon's. Now, the thing I would like to see him bring up again is that chest, because in some of the poses, the chest really hurts his physique, I feel like, compared to some of these top Olympia guys. But I'm telling you, man, this guy is the real deal, and don't be surprised if we see him in the top 3 next year at the Classic Physique Olympia. So let me know what you guys think about Keone Pearson in the comment section below. Please go ahead and give him a follow on Instagram. Thank you guys for watching the video, and please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.